How different is it from regular yoga?
What we do in laughter yoga is we bring in a lot of deep breathing, just the way we do in pranayama.
Right.
That's the only reason why this is called as laughter yoga. And with these breathing techniques and clapping, we add exercise where we have 100 plus laughter exercise. And that's how we kind of, bring the joy of laughter in people's life.
Can laughter yoga also help in dealing with the most serious mental issues, like for example, anxiety or depression?
This will help, but with the consistency, having that consistency of practice. However, the beautiful thing here about laughter yoga all over the world is wonderful medical research is happening. India also is doing a couple of researches which has already happened in Bangalore and few more to come up. So yes, it definitely helps with support. Though we say the energies are fantastic, but we all know that we need that kind of enthusiasm, and I can assure you that laughter can bring in that enthusiasm instantly.
Wow.
So for this, what we are going to do is, for the next 30 seconds, we just look at each other and we start laughing without any reason.
Okay.
The best part is, even if you feel you are faking it, it's absolutely fine. We will see what comes.
Perfect.
But have a nice eye-to-eye contact to everybody and let's just laugh. Okay,
Super.
ready?
Done.
1,
I'll,
2.
Anirudh, you also come. No? Come.
Yeah, please come.
Everybody join. Yeah.
Everybody join in,
Come.
okay?
Come here.
On a count of 3. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we ready? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
You're not laughing. Come on. Laugh. दर्द हो रहा है.
Beautiful. Exactly. दर्द हो रहा है. ये दर्द मीठा दर्द है. Good to see you at least smile because we just started. And just breathe once. Tell me how are you feeling, even if you faked it.
Yeah, feeling
Feeling
good.
fresh.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted.
Wow, fantastic.
Laughter is that instant energy booster, Whatever you're
It is,
doing,
it is. Definitely
30
it
seconds
is.
of laughter and you're like, good to go.
Yeah, agreed. Hi. So for those who are not so familiar with laughter yoga, what is it and how does it improve somebody's life?
So for all our listeners and viewers, laughter yoga is a unique concept where anybody can laugh without any reason, no jokes, no comedy, for their health and happiness. And the benefits that it has is endless benefits, but just to give you a couple of them, when we are laughing, when we just started and say, ha ha ha, ha, we are exhaling all the stale air from our lungs. When we are doing ha 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 ha, ha, we are exhaling all the stale air from our lungs. Second important thing is, when you're laughing, you're releasing something called as endorphins. Endorphins are these feel-good hormones which changes your mood instantly, and that's where there are endless health benefits that laughter yoga has.
Is this taking shape in India, and how prevalent is it, or are people starting to know it? Are people starting to take it? How is the scene happening in India?
Well, this was introduced by a medical doctor in India in 1995
Okay.
by Dr. Madan Kataria, and he's from Mumbai. He is a medical doctor. The concept of laughter yoga started in India with just 5 people in a park in Mumbai. And as on today, there are thousands of laughter clubs spread across the world. And we also have a laughter university, which most of it, internationally people know it, but in India, slowly it is getting popularized. So you will see most of these audiences are coming from different countries to get trained as a laughter yoga trainers and to share the joy of laughter in their country in various fields.
So what made you choose this field?
Well, there's a wonderful story. I think around 2014, before I got into laughter yoga, I was heading an HR executive search firm in India.
Okay.
And this was in Bangalore with 15 members team.
Okay.
And recruitment is fantastic business. It has good money, but it also comes with its own challenges. And I think that was the time when I was going through major challenge both in professional and personal front.
Right.
And that was a time we all go through a phase in our life when you feel that I want to shut down everything and just do nothing. I think I was in that mode where on one hand personal challenges and professional challenges. But the best part about me is I love to watch TED Talks,
Okay.
which motivates me.
Right.
And at 10:30 in the night, in the month of April, I'm thinking I want to shut down my business. I don't want to do anything. And I said, okay, let me watch a TED Talk. I ended up watching an 18 minutes video by Dr. Madan Kataria, which spoke about laughter yoga. And in that 18 minutes, I was laughing at my home. And I was wondering, what was I thinking just 18 minutes before of shutting down everything? Nothing is working. And here I am laughing without any reason. That moment was a major transformation moment for me. And I was very fortunate that Dr. Kataria was in Bangalore that time. And in less than a month, he was conducting the training program. And I said, this is what I need in my life. So that's how the laughter journey as a student began. Because I'd forgotten to laugh. When you're in the corporate world and in the business, forget about laughter. I don't know how many times in a day we smile. That 18 minutes of laughter made me realize that this is what I'm missing in my life. And that's how the introduction to laughter yoga happened while I'm already heading an HR executive search firm in Bangalore.
Right. So, mostly, whenever we are very happy, we smile. And if you're even more happy, we then laugh. How can somebody laugh without being happy? That's
Very
the first thing which comes to my mind.
Very valid point taken. I remember Vidya Balan's dialogue where she said, entertainment, entertainment, and entertainment. I also have 3 mantra in my life which says practice, practice, and practice. Because we are not relying on jokes. We are not relying on comedy. Laughter yoga is where you have simple laughter exercises where you laugh every day for your health and happiness. So if you're practicing every single day laughing, it becomes easy to laugh even in the toughest of situation. And this I am saying from a very practical experience over the last 10 years. Whether it is fighting COVID, where my husband was critical in the ICU in the hospital, where I was not sure whether he's going to come back. But to keep myself positive and not allow any fear, I laughed. When my dad had a bypass surgery in Ahmedabad, where I was not prepared for what was happening, and going and delivering a laughter yoga session, not because I feel, wow, I'm a laughter ambassador, I want to go. No, I wanted to come out of the fear of losing my dad and going and delivering the session. And I realized that it really helps because the toughest of situation will keep coming in life. But if you have a practice which helps you not to get into the negative mindset or fear, you can actually win any kind of battle in your life, any kind of situations.
Can laughter yoga also help in dealing with the more serious mental issues, like, for example, anxiety or depression?
I would not say that only laughter yoga would help. We are not giving this as an option that no medication, no counseling, no coaching. In fact, laughter is an add-on. If somebody is already undergoing a counseling or a coaching, this will help, but with a consistency, having that consistency of practice. However, the beautiful thing here about laughter yoga all over the world is wonderful medical research is happening. Medical research, if you just put laughter yoga and medical research in Google, you will find n number of research which says that how laughter is helping in healing even cancer patients, helping in your blood pressure control, helping in diabetes, and so on and so forth. So medically the research is happening, and very soon I'm sure India also is doing a couple of researches which has already happened in Bangalore and few more to come up. So yes, it definitely helps with support. This is an add-on.
And how have people in your family and in your friends reacted to your shift from being a corporate professional to being a laughter, what should I say, laughter therapist, should I say? Is that the right word to use?
People call laughter therapist, people call as a laughter buddy. Each one has their own way. So if friends say, oh, she's my laughter buddy. If you go to the corporate, they say she's a laughter ambassador. And if you go to a social cause, they say she's a laughter yoga guru.
Right.
Different names.
Right.
But everything boils down to one thing, which is laughter.
Right.
Now, how did my family approach? The first thing is they felt that I've gone mad, to be very honest, because heading an HR executive search firm, having a 15 members team, where everything has been successful so far, and suddenly she wants to shut down and go and get into a concept called laughter yoga where not many people have tried so far. So definitely they had that question mark. But one good thing about the family is they know that I am a little different person who always love to take challenges and leap of faith, most importantly. And they know that she will turn the tables around. So though initially they had inefficiency of asking me, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you will be able to do this? I said, yeah. So that's how the family has accepted, and today they are very proud of me for whatever contribution I'm doing.
And how much does a laughter coach earn on average?
It again depends upon the country, the program, what you're doing. For instance,
Like if you-
when I started, I can give you the figures. When I started, it never meant as a business. The purpose was to spread the joy of laughter.
Right.
And because of the HR presence and LinkedIn where I'm active, people started inviting me because most of the clients are HRs, whom either I would have hired at leadership role and so on, right?
right.
So when we started, it was anywhere between 5 to 10,000 rupees. But today, the session cost around 1.5 2 lakhs as well, where they book your flight tickets, they welcome you, they receive you, because each program is customized. In India, there are very handpicked people and who can deliver these kind of session, because the crowd is different, people are different. What you deliver to a technology based people to what you deliver to a leadership and what you deliver to a blue collar is entirely different. You need to understand what challenges they go through and deliver. Accordingly, the budget also changes. And for me, it's not always about money. So what I charge for a Fortune 500 company in an AC room where they fly me could be a different to what I charge to a manufacturing setup which has got only 500 employees, because the purpose is larger. The
Right.
purpose is to spread the joy of
Right,
laughter.
right, obviously.
So there is no standard fees as such. And again, it also depends on number of people. For instance, we started with just 25 people in a closed door in a corporate world. And I have addressed 1,000 people in Bangalore for one of the largest laptop company globally. Not giving the names, but where 1,000 people have laughed together. So it's customized. Money is a byproduct.
However, if I ask you like sum up your 12-month income, then divide it by 12, what is the average that
Easily one can make around 30 to 40 lakhs.
A
Easily.
month?
No, annually.
Annually.
That said, without any business development, with if you would have gone through what the work that I do, I have not been somebody who is good at BD.
Right.
Okay, I'm not somebody who can go and ask for business, but very fortunate that if you look at these companies, they have only come through references, only through the videos and word of mouth.
Right.
And not just in India, even international for that matter.
Right.
So I've recently delivered a session in UAE. I've delivered a session in UK. So commercial never thought this, it has to be a strategically, okay, I'm earning 25 lakhs or a 50 lakhs. My business has been more during COVID. I never expected that I will be earning more in COVID. But maximum business happened in COVID, which is online sessions globally. So money is a byproduct, but overall, if you ask me, people can make money provided you know the industry, you know the corporates, because major chunk of money is coming from corporate.
Have you ever come across somebody commenting on social media or having the general perception, अरे ये क्या बकवास है, बस हंस रहे हैं?
I've got one at LinkedIn where somebody just said, just by doing this, it does not help. And all I could do is reply to them with the medical research that how it helps. And the person actually went and wrote a beautiful in-mail on LinkedIn apologizing me and saying that, yes, I was not aware that a concept like this helps. And there is a medical research, proven medical research. So it happens and it's natural. I think it's not just for laughter yoga. Any business you are in, criticism to aayega hi aayega.
Bilkul.
So that's
How different is it from regular yoga?
regular yoga. When we talk about, again, it's about breathing and asanas and pranayamas. Yoga is a vast subject.
Obviously.
I'm not going to get into any kind of controversy here, because the moment we say yoga, the word yoga is very deep. But it has a combination of breathing, it has a combination of asanas, it has a combination of meditation. What we do in laughter yoga is we bring in a lot of deep breathing, just the way we do in pranayama.
Right.
That's the only reason why this is called as laughter yoga. And with these breathing techniques and clapping, we add exercise where we have 100 plus laughter exercise. And that's how we kind of, bring the joy of laughter in people's life.
So, is it also okay if laughter yoga sessions are conducted virtually, or is it generally done only in person?
My belief always was that it can be done only in person. But I would say COVID changed the way we look at things. And COVID really helped to share this joy of laughter online. We had to do certain experiment. I think we all
Right.
were learning, right? Online journey has been good. However, as a person who is delivering the session, for me, if you ask me, can you gauge if everybody is participating? Can you gauge that each person has got that kind of a laughter? I think for me as a facilitator, I feel more happy and joyous to see my audience in person. However, when I'm doing online, I keep getting messages and mails where people say, oh, really, today's session was fantastic. I love this part of the exercise very much. That's make me feel that, okay, even if 500 people are watching me online, even 2 messages like that, that means I have contributed in somebody's
Right,
life. So online, it is working. And even nowadays, we are coming up with online courses where people can watch at their home, because laughter is contagious. We just started, right?
Yeah. It kind of thrives in exploiting people's insecurities and their troubles.
I don't think this could be the right approach of thinking, because the world is evolving. While people are definitely going for various coachings, and people are intelligent, people are smart, they would not want to go and waste their money. Maybe 1 or 2 cases where people are doing it, but in a major chunk, if you look at it, people are aware what they are spending for. Even if they are registering for a 500 rupees course, they want to check the person and the capability and experiment it. Because what comes at a certain price will definitely have a certain kind of experience and expertise, and people want to explore.
Right.
So they are okay. But exploitation could be a very, what do you call, not so great
Should be
word.
fast-stretched.
Fast.
So, do you think laughter yoga has long-term solutions as well, or do you think it's more like a quick fix?
I would definitely say long term. A practical example is myself. Prior to getting into laughter yoga, heading an HR entrepreneur firm and working in a corporate world, I work for a corporate world too. I see a major changes in me in the last 10 years. Be it my health, where I had migraine for 10 years, and from the time I've started laughter yoga, the migraine is gone. Similarly, a consistent practice will definitely see a long-term result. However, people who are trying it for the first time, for them also it's good, because at least they take a break and they laugh wholeheartedly, where we have forgotten in today's world. Forget about laughter. As I was saying, in the corporate world, we have forgotten to smile. Maybe बोलते ना कंजूसी करते हैं. Maybe just say ha 10 seconds. But a session like this really makes them to go back to their childhood, the way they were enjoying life to the fullest. So definitely there is a benefit provided one practices in long term.
Right. And do you think it with this laughter yoga also helps maybe couples who are fighting their relationship battles? Do you think it provides a sense of security if maybe they are getting into laughter yoga? Does it help solve relationship problems as well?
I think this question answer should be given by my husband. So what he has done is, over the time, I have manifested a wonderful partner in the last 3.5 years. This is my second inning.
Okay.
I have been a divorcee.
Right.
And I found love during COVID. I got married during COVID. After marriage, at this age, you know that certain tidbits would happen. While he knows what I do, he came up with a new exercise, which is called as I'm not listening laughter. So he put his hand on the ears, and when I'm arguing, he said, I'm laughing, I cannot listen. So when people know a concept like this, they definitely can help. And second important thing is, these exercises, there are exercises which you can do it on your own. We have something called a silent laughter. You want to try one silent laughter?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Absolutely.
So imagine you had a fight at home with your spouse or a partner, okay? And you know it's getting really high, and you have been practicing laughter yoga, but you cannot laugh in front of her, because when she's already all fired up, if you're laughing, I don't know what you're going to receive. But you know that your space and mental peace is important. You go to the washroom, and we do something called a silent laughter.
Acha.
This is the most successful laughter exercise, where all my corporates are loving it. Okay, so what you do is you put your hand on your stomach. Okay, can you put your hand?
Yeah,
Okay, imagine you're sitting in the washroom on the WC, and you are silently laughing without any noise. Right now, since I'm teaching you, you can see me and follow. Little faking is fine. If you remember in the beginning, I said fake it till you make it, because your body cannot differentiate between real or a fake laughter. You still get the same physical, mental, emotional, and psychological benefit.
Wow.
Right? So that's the mantra of laughter. Fake it till you make it. So you're going to put your hand. The reason why you're putting it on your stomach is, you know that your diaphragm or your belly is moving. Okay, ready? On a count of 3, let's laugh together silently. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right? So you have a space. You can create a space where you can go and laugh. So even in relationship, and that's the whole mantra for corporates also, right? Relationships are there in the offices as well. People are working together. They need to come together. The whole idea of laughter yoga to spread to the world is, one more important point is that stress is contagious. But the good news here is laughter is contagious too.
Yeah.
So we can consciously choose. If one person in the family is stressed out, please go and check that stress is passed out to each and every family member.
Right.
But imagine if one person can break that pattern of stress and bring that joy and laughter, maybe on a dining table, laughing together for 30 seconds or 1 minute and practicing. Things will change at home level also with
Right.
the family members
Right,
as well.
right. So you mentioned that you're a divorcee
Yes.
and you're a working individual.
Yes.
How do you think the stigma has changed in the Indian society, or has it still not changed? Because I'm sure you have faced it firsthand. What is your experience?
It has definitely changed. I think the world has evolved over the last few years, and even in India for that matter. 25 years back, if you look at divorce, it was entirely a different thing. In fact, let me tell you, when I got divorced, it was way, way long back. And that time, I had to think 100 times because the family, what people will say, log kya kahenge, mummy papa ka naam kya hoga, you know,
खराब हो
those,
जाएगा,
हाँ,
हाँ,
खराब हो जाएगा. And people will only blame one side of the family, the girl, most of the time. But now things have changed. The reason being, women have been more independent. Everybody understands that relationships are important, but not at the cost of your mental peace. And they can make the choice. And young generation is fantastic. I mean, I'm not promoting that, okay, you don't like, you divorce and move on. No, I'm not promoting that. But people are aware that if two people are coming together in a relationship, there needs to be peace, happiness, and joy. And when we know that we are not able to contribute, in a very nice and a polite way, we can still move out. So definitely the world is accepting, and I feel one can take a chance in life rather than struggling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Rather than struggling in that particular relationship, one can take a choice. It's all individual's way of looking at things, but it has changed for sure.
How long should one try before deciding to move on?
Again, what has one experienced in that relationship? Unfortunately, now what happens at the drop of a hat, people want divorce, right? You ask me that unless and until it is not getting for somebody to bear the relationship, be it physical abuse, be it I even say financial abuse or family or whatever, till a person can hold it and till a person see the plus point in the relationship. Not all relationships are 100% wrong, right? Maybe 90% is good, 10% is not good, maybe 80%. And if you think you can work it, and how did you come together in a relationship? That's also very important, right? If it's a childhood friend, if it's a college friend, you fall in love, you still have a chance of understanding how, and even if it's an arranged marriage. So it all depends upon individual, what is their purpose in life, larger purpose in life. Do they have the capacity? And of course, counseling and coaching is working fantastic these days, that businesses. Though I use the word business, but there are some amazing counselors who even help in saving the marriages. But again, individual perspective. You choose, I always say, it's your life. You choose. If you think that you have the capability and capacity to handle this relationship and you feel you both can move forward, and most importantly, very, very important is, when it comes to family, it's also important to see the children part of it.
Right.
Most important. As a couple, when you see. So the moment children comes into picture, parents take a little pause because it's their life. They don't want their life to be, spoiled in the journey of divorce and all of that. So it's individual perspective.
Thank you so much, Archana, for coming down, and thank you so much for giving us your time.
I'm grateful to you guys for introducing this concept to all your viewers. And before I end this podcast, I just want to tell each and everyone from your team and whoever are our viewers at any point in time, remember one thing: never ever take life too seriously. It's time to take laughter seriously.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.